Takaba's cursed technique is comedian. It makes whatever he's convinced will be funny a reality. That sounds extremely OP. I like the fact that it kind of puts that caveat there where, yet, he doesn't even know how his technique works. Like, this is what it does. It could literally oppose Gojo himself, but he don't know what it's doing. It's just kind of happening. So it's like, if he ever realized what was going on there, he'd probably really OP, but that's crazy. I mean, that makes sense. Again, this guy, like, literally explodes him inside of this building. Like, he's sipping tea. He blows up the building, and he comes and pops up in a random window and goes, hey, be careful. That guy's strong. Like, he lived and survived it and recovered because it would be funny, right? That's what it kind of implies to me. Like, it's subconsciously just kind of activating because, oh, this would be really cool if I did this. It would be really funny. And then, boom, it happens. That's incredible because I'd be like, I guess, again, it goes to that whole thing where you may think that he could never kill somebody because he would never feel like that would be funny. Like he said, like before, when Megumi said, kill him or whatever, he's like, no, I would never rob somebody of their smiles or whatever. You could see killing somebody as something that would not be funny. And thus, there's still technically a limit there for what he would be able to do because it wouldn't be seen as funny. Now, I guess you can go to the idea that one day he could have a dark humor and find it funny that somebody gets crushed into like nothingness and go, haha, that was funny because it was so random or whatever. Like he could go towards like some really dark humor, but for now it's like he's at least unkillable because you could just always see the idea of popping out of every situation and cracking a joke as being funny. And sure enough, this episode, that was it. Like him popping up in the window and being like, be careful, that guy's strong or whatever. And then suddenly he's covered with goop and he's like, yeah, it's sauce. What, you don't like sauce? It was funny. It was actually funny this time. Like, unlike last time where it was like a little bit jarring that it kind of transitioned from Megumi literally just slicing some dude's head open and like splattering blood over the place. The dude's like dead right there, to suddenly, yeah, Takaba is like popping up out of nowhere and going, hey guys, Wi-Fi. It's like, that wasn't, it was jarring, but I still find this guy a lot, like he's hilarious. Is him following the guy, like, you're done? Wait, can I have your points? Wait, come back here. Hey, make sure to, take a bath and brush your teeth. Like, he's funny. He is actually funny and goofy, and I love his charisma, but damn if he ain't OP. And I'm curious how we're going to actually utilize that in fights other than the fact of him just being unkillable. Just literally unkillable. And again, if he potentially does go the realm of dark humor, just funny because it's so gruesome and kind of catches you off guard. But anyways, what episode are we on? I just jumped right in talking about Takaba and his like incredibly OP abilities. But yes, episode 58 of Jujutsu Kaisen, really solid episode. The later part of it, interesting, kind of finally introducing this, what was it, Sendai area? Yeah, the Sendai colony, and the fact that Yuta is already getting work over there, introducing a whole bunch of people just for him to knock out one of them. There's like these 4 incredibly powerful elements here, and Yuta kills one of them. There's apparently a cockroach that's underneath everything that's sort of dormant until something sort of happens, which I'm kind of wondering if that will be one of those bombs that Reggie mentioned. He mentioned that, whatever is happening here is just a bluff. There's actually something else happening. He's waiting for everything else to develop, everything else to sort of unfold, the most powerful people to sort of build up, and then he's going to drop some sort of bomb. Not that it has to be a physical, literal bomb, just some sort of thing has to be triggered. And I'm wondering if that's one of them. He says specifically that there is a Kuroshi, 54 points, cockroach curse spirit that Kenjaku freed from control of curse spirit manipulation. He ranks as a special grade, is lying dormant until certain conditions are met. Now here's the thing. If it's lying dormant until certain conditions are met, and it has 54 points, does that mean that it has done some stuff and now it's dormant? Or that somebody's giving it points? Like, why is it sitting down there? And you would assume that it was brought here and then, left to be dormant until something happened. And again, I'm assuming that might be whatever Kenjaku's working on. Whatever that bomb is, could be literally this cursed spirit. Whatever this thing is here that's waiting for a condition to be met. What is needing to be done? That's the question mark there. But yeah, kind of seeing that this group is kind of building up over this area, and yeah, Yuta's already getting to work over there, taking stuff out. But yeah, that's everything outside of, obviously, Megumi and his fight with Reggie, which, yes, I want to get into how it all ends. The sister. But yes, the fight itself was pretty solid. Seeing Megumi using his domain expansion and using the Shadow Garden, which in the end ends up being this massive bluff. This whole thing was a lie. Megumi wanted to lure him to this location, look like he was desperate, get him to the gymnasium. He's hiding there, right? No, he was luring him there in order to use this to let Reggie drop down his guard. It was interesting kind of seeing how his technique itself works, and the idea that it's not necessarily a guaranteed hit type of technique. It's actually going for the concept of just, enhancing him. It extends his 10 shadow techniques and basically draws out 120% of his latent potential. It gets him really strong. But additionally, as well, this idea that the entire location is his shadow. So everything in it, he can pull things out, he can put himself in it, but at some point, if he wants to connect things, he has to physically be there. His physical form has to be there. And that's something that Reggie eventually picks up on. This idea that this whole thing is his shadow. He's having to put things in it and take it out. Let me try something. Eventually, even though Reggie's getting his butt kicked, eventually he does realize this concept and decides to drop a bunch of vehicles inside of it. See how that works. And apparently, yes, that ends up being sort of to the detriment of Megumi. That Megumi now has the weight of these massive vehicles just kind of bearing down upon him. Which was interesting to kind of note that even Reggie kind of points out before, I could have probably ended this a long time ago if I kept those trucks, because he chucked 2 trucks at him at the gymnasium. He probably could have used that. It probably would have led to Megumi's downfall. But again, that's all to what I think Megumi was kind of plotting towards. This seems to be everything that he sort of has planned. But in the end, yes, dropping down these cars onto him, eventually Megumi like, hey, by the way, this entire place is my shadow, and it's also above you, so here, have an elephant. And it turns into this little game. I actually like this little bit right here where the two of them are like, it's like an endurance race right here, who's going to end up snapping first. And it's talking about how Reggie Star, he's got his legs like cracked right here, and any moment it can snap. And then Megumi's over here trying to like balance his weight and everything like that, keeping his head low and everything like that so that he doesn't lose consciousness. And then Reggie's like, I'm going to have to pull my trump card. I got to do it right now. And it's suddenly like, snap. That little snap right there was like, that was a fun little like high tensions moment, like funny thing, because it just happens. Like, it's not like it's going out of its way to be funny. It's just because it just happened. It's kind of comical. It was really well timed there. But yes, Reggie kind of falling into the shadow, which was interesting because I'm not sure if we've ever really discussed like what it is like to be inside of Megumi's shadow. And right here, Reggie is implying that it's like you just sink. You're just sinking it. It's like water, but you can't get yourself out of it. You can't swim out of it. There's no buoyancy or whatever. And you, of course, can't breathe. So he's slowly losing consciousness in there. But thanks to the fact that he never gave his cars any command, he's able to command them to knock him out of there, which turns to him pulling his trump card, which was to drop a house inside of there. This is a sad thing because, again, I had some crazy theories about what they were going to do with Reggie, because his whole concept here is that he's able to pull up contracts. He's able to reenact contracts. And so my hope was, I had a hope that his big like trump card was going to be that he can pull out pacts. Because one of the biggest and most powerful concepts of contracts, at least in a world like this, I would think would be pacts. Like some sort of agreement that you have made with a demon or something like that, and that he would have some of those. That he wasn't going to just be receipts. In the end, unfortunately, Reggie, despite being somebody from the past, the only thing he has are receipts. And that makes sense because if he's having to pull out physical receipts, they have to be physical. He has to have them in his hand, which again ends up being his downfall in the end because he gets them wet. It makes sense that he's not going to have physical receipts or contracts or pacts from the past. It was just kind of my hope that he would pull something like that out. Instead, it just ends up being he apparently had a receipt for a house. He went somewhere to make like a real estate agency or something like that and found like a down payment on a house or like a full payment on a house and just busts that out in order to take down Megumi. But anyways, yes, ends up crushing him under it, and eventually Megumi releases the domain. Reggie for a brief moment thinks that he fell in the shadow again, but he just is in the gymnasium, climbs out of it. Have our little last battle between the two of them before, yes, we reveal that Megumi has been playing him the entire time, and in fact, his wolf was never down for the count, and the dog ends up taking a big old chunk out of him. Now, the little after scene is very, very interesting because, yes, Reggie mentioned the fact that, yes, he pulled this on him, tricked him. All sorcerers are actually liars. He was, not down for the count at all. He tricked him into coming here and all this kind of stuff. But additionally, Megumi asks him, what is your relation to Tengen? I wasn't actually expecting that, but I guess I should have expected that because at the initial meeting of, Reggie Star was very clear that he knew a lot about Kenjaku. And he was specifically kind of pointing out that every information that was coming out of Tengen was a bluff. That a lot of this stuff is a lie. And that everything that was being said about what was going on was off base. And again, at the time I was thinking it was going to be a lot to do with, Tengen not necessarily lying. It's just that they read the information. This is what they assume was going on. It's just not what exactly is going on. Because Tengen themselves even mentioned that they can read the information, but they don't know, exactly what they're thinking. Doesn't know what Kenjaku's thinking, just sees what's happening. But yes, there's a logical thought process here that, yes, Tengen could be lying. In the end, Tengen could be lying. The two of these sides are against each other, obviously, and they're going to say what they can say in order to save their butts. Tengen's not going to be against the idea of lying to people. There could be something that maybe I'm forgetting or I'm just not aware of that requires Tengen to always tell the truth, but I'm not aware of it. But when he asks Reggie specifically, what is your relation to Tengen? And again, this is somebody from the past. He says, Tengen, oh right, they would still be alive. That shut-in. And immediately Megumi says, that's enough. That's all he needed to know. Based on that reaction, that means that they're not aware of their relation to this situation. That they are just somebody that, that person? Oh, yeah, they were like a shut-in. What's up? What are you asking? Not that, yeah, they're definitely involved with what's going on, just that they know they existed and that they would still exist. Not that they're related to this situation or that they're tied in with the situation. That was the interesting thing there. They then recall the fact that, yes, Reggie said that Tengen was claiming that the Culling game's goals were a bluff. It should probably consider the possibility that Tengen and Kenjaku are secretly connected and lied about their goals. But that doesn't seem likely from his reaction. By him saying that he doesn't see a connection, that Reggie doesn't see a connection between them, why are they even involved with this? I wouldn't see a reason why they were involved. So that's an interesting thing there. I was actually shocked by how it wraps up, though, and the fact that in the end, Reggie ends up getting him all of his points. Which I guess in the end, like he says, hey, it's my last good deed. I'm just going to do a good deed. And at the end, it's going to be funny, right? It's going to entertain me. Go out there and die, you fool. Whatever. I don't really care. It's like, I'm not even going to use them anyways. It's like, I'm not going to do an F you, whatever. I'm just going to burn the points with me. Shoot, I'll just give them to you. Whatever. Have fun with them. I don't care. What is there? What am I going to lose here? I'm just a spectator. I was never really close to Kenjaku. I made this little pact, but I'm not even close to him. It's my intuition. Just go have fun. Go die. That was a little cool moment from Reggie at the very end there. But yeah, after the fight, my prediction, it seemed like a pretty obvious prediction. I'm not going to claim like I'm some sort of genius or anything here, and it's not technically confirmed yet, but yes, after this fight, it seemed to imply that I think he had a run-in with Remy again. But either way, he has this goofy, little love story thing with Remy, I became an adult and everything became so confusing. But I found that even though people said that men are all wolves, those wolves took care of everything for me. I didn't have to think. They just took care of things for me. And then, literally, we have Megumi's about to kill Remy. And then a voice kicks in. Don't do it, Megumi. His sister calls out to him, tells him, don't kill Remy. And so Megumi just calls away his dog, goes walking away, and collapses. Hope Remy doesn't end up saving him, but it implies that at this point he collapses, and he says something about his sister, shut up, whatever, and then an angel descends upon him. Angel, which, again, I'm assuming this person is going to be Angel, the one that they're all looking for. I think they literally showed, a brief shot of Angel when they were talking about Angel, when they were in discussion with Tengen, and it looks just like them. So this is Angel. Angel's descending upon Megumi. And it seems like they're possibly going to save Megumi. And again, based on him hearing the voice of his sister right here and saying, shut up, and then boom, she pops up, I'm considering this is going to be his sister. That his sister has manifested the past Angel inside of her. And that was my prediction that I was going to have, is that, yeah, this is going to totally be his sister. His sister's going to manifest this person from the past, which is going to complicate things a lot. But the interesting thing here is that, with all it said, the interesting thing here is that Reggie never gave an indication that they were two selves. Because that was my curiosity around his sister being possessed by Angel, or anybody that is being possessed by somebody of the past, reincarnation. That if they did put themselves inside of somebody, would they still have their past self? It seems to imply that here with me, if Angel's inside of her and she's saving Megumi, could his sister be influencing Angel? That would be cool. That would be cool. I'd be interested to see how that kind of plays out. It would make things a lot more easier, let's be honest, because they need to somehow talk Angel into helping them with Gojo. And if this is some sort of past, incarnation that could have potentially made some sort of agreement with Kenjaku, that's going to make it very difficult to talk this person into it. If inside of her, they have Megumi's sister, they could possibly talk her into it. But anyways, that was a cool little shocker at the very end there. And again, it kind of plays into my theory that I had not confirmed yet. Like I said, not confirmed yet, but I'm kind of assuming there. But yeah, going back to what I said at the very beginning here, we did get a little bit of brief shot of Sendai Colony. Not really too much to kind of note here. One of them's already dead, so I don't even have to talk about it. But it was some dude that had 91 points, which implies they were the strongest out of all of them that Yuta just, basically knocked out very easily. I mean, it doesn't have to be easy. It could be very difficult to other people's standards, just not Yuta. Just not Yuta. The other ones, we had Ryu, which he's a canon with the greatest cursed energy output amongst players. I'm guessing by canon they mean like he's able to shoot things, I guess. Takako, who had 70 points. She was originally the captain of the Sun, Moon, and Star Squad, a squad of assassins that served directly under Fujiwara clan. That one's interesting. Says that a technique manipulates the sky, which shows her being able to essentially make herself invisible. Let's not shy away from what we've seen there. That was some nice visuals. She's looking pretty hot. Hopefully she's not too crazy. But I'm assuming that she has the ability to kind of make herself invisible or something like that. And then, like I said, Kurororoshi, which was like this cockroach, which I'm guessing, again, is going to be very much so tied in with whatever plan Kenjaku has. That's my assumption there. But yes, we have the appearance of Yuta, someone that is able to rival Gojo, and he appears, taking out one of them very easily. So we'll see if potentially in the next episode, we're just going to see Yuta go around and just pretty much clean up Sendai. Like the entire next episode is literally just Yuta going around just wiping the floor with everybody. But anyways, that's my thoughts on the episode. Hopefully get some more information around Angel and what's going on with Megumi. And so everything seems to be going very positively, which I think that's the big concerning thing. Is like every side of this battlefield so far is turning out to be, we're doing good. We're having no problems here. So we'll see. Anyways, that's my thoughts on the episode. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, if you did, hit the like button down below. If you like this content and want to support the channel more, become a member. Till next time, you'll take care.